I'm Lauren with IndoorGardening.com, and today we're going to talk about the best tall indoor plants. A lot of times you'll end up finding a lot of smaller plants that get bigger over time, and then you have absolutely no idea that they are going to grow that huge. Doesn't really say it on the label a lot of the times. But what if you are specifically looking for a very large plant? You have a very large corner, a very large space, you're just trying to create some jungle vibes in your home, you know? What if you need a large plant? Let's talk about the large plants that you can get for your home that you don't have to wait a long time for them to grow and be huge. You can just go right to the store and get them larger. All right, first on the list is ficus. Ficus can actually become huge trees, like the size of walnut trees and oak trees. They are massive trees when you plant them outside. Inside, not so much. Because they are trees, they need a lot of light. Most of the plants on this list, if they're tall and they're big, they're going to need big light to go with their awesomeness. That's just how it is. Ficus can be absolutely huge. You can get them fairly small. They can just be a little stick in a pot, or you can get them in like 8 to 10 inch pots. And that's usually about the height that people are going to want to get them. Ficus have very thick rubbery leaves for the most part. If you get like a fiddle leaf fig, which is also a ficus, their leaves are a bit thinner. They need a little bit more water, a little bit more regular care, but you can get something like a Ficus Audrey where the leaves are thicker and they're actually velvety feeling when they come out, all green. You can get strawberries and cream. You can get a burgundy ficus, which creates this beautiful dark foliage, and these are all trees, mind you, but they come with all different kinds of foliage depending on the vibe that you're going for in your home, so you don't necessarily have to get just plain green ones. There's definitely a lot of varieties of ficus out there, and they all make fantastic tall indoor plants for you. Next up on the list is Musa, also known as a banana tree. You can actually grow your very own banana tree in your home. They can get huge. They can get incredibly huge. So the more light you give them, the bigger they're going to get. They get these very long stems that reach on up, and then you'll have these huge, giant, jungly foliage just kind of swooping out everywhere. They're really, really incredible plants. You can get them in a variety of sizes. They also come in a variety of temperature requirements. So you have to research the specific banana tree plant that is going to work best in your home. But they're all fairly inexpensive. They're not too hard to find, and you can get them fairly large to fill your space very quickly. So they also grow really quickly. So if you happen to get a small one, they'll grow really fast for you. So that's another thing to look at. Another plant that'll grow pretty quickly if it gets enough light is a bird of paradise. This is also very similar to the banana tree plant. Their leaves are very, very similar looking depending on the type of bird of paradise that you're getting, but they get very tall, very huge. They definitely give jungle vibes because of their very big paddle-like green leaves. Absolutely gorgeous, totally stunning. Definitely give them a shot if you haven't. One thing to keep in mind though is if you give them enough light, they can actually sprout flowers too. So when you're picking the specific variety of this plant, you can choose whether you want them to have a very colorful flower that's shaped like a bird, or you can have them with just white flowers that are shaped like the bird. It's a really, really cool combination. There are probably a few other colors out there as well, but it just depends on what you're going for. So definitely look into that when you're picking your bird of paradise plant for your home. Draceana are another one. If you like very, very drought tolerant plants, these plants can handle a little bit of a lower light as well, unlike the other ones on this list. I think this is pretty much the only one that would be able to handle a lot of lower light. But Draceana in general are pretty good with low light, and this particular one is very drought tolerant. Just shove them in a corner, let them do their thing. They'll grow fairly quickly for you. And then if you want them to be a little bit more bushy, you can always chop them. You chop off the top and you propagate the top in some water, and and then it'll grow a whole new stem and kind of divide that way. These work really, really great if you have a home that's kind of terracotta or deserty vibes, because they just kind of grow straight up, and then they have this big fluffy mound up top that's very ribbon-like, almost like somebody took a stick and stuck a spider plant on top of it. I know that's kind of like a weird way to explain it, but it looks really, really cool, and they grow really fast. And they're just so fun to see, and they're very unique. There's not a whole lot of other large houseplants or houseplants that get that tall that have that look and that vibe as well. And because they're skinny, you can fit them in a lot of different places. You don't have to worry about them getting really, really bushy and taking up a whole area. They're just one simple statement piece in one area, which is really cool. This next one, though, is the exact opposite of what we were talking about. Monstera Deliciosa are big, they're bold, they get super tall, they get super huge, they get wide, they get bushy, they climb out all over the place. They are very in-your-face plants, which is fantastic if that's the vibe you're going for. I've seen leaves up to 2 feet wide before. They're really incredible to see. It's very humbling to stand next to one of these plants, and they're amazing to have in a home because you don't have to take care of a whole bunch of plants to get basically a green wall. You just need a Monstera Deliciosa or two, and you can get them fairly small for fairly inexpensive. They grow prolifically very quickly, so in a couple of years you'll have something that'll take over your entire corner. Or because they grow so prolifically, you can actually get them for fairly inexpensive in a very large size. It doesn't have to cost $500–600 to get something so huge because they grow so fast. It's just a couple years. Definitely a statement plant for anybody's home, regardless of whether you're a plant collector or not. Keep in mind, with most big plants, they need a lot of light to go with them, so make sure you're researching the sizes and the types of plants before you place them into your home. Make sure that you have the light requirements and you're able to give them the care that they need in order for them to be super successful in your home and bring you so much joy. Be sure to check out indoorgardening.com for more information. We are always happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!